Hello students, welcome once again on my YouTube channel Pratik Singh Classes. In this video, we are going to study the 12th Physics Unit 10 from new book and Unit 9 from old book. That is all about electronics and communication systems. Okay, and this is the second part of Unit 10. The first video I had made for these topics, that is, we have seen introduction. Okay, then we have seen some important things related to electronics and communication and also related to engineering branches. Then we have seen energy band diagram of solids from microscopic point of view. Then we try to understand what is the meaning of conductor, insulators and semiconductors, okay, which is totally different from what we have studied in the previous classes. Then we have studied about classification of materials. Okay, then today in this video, just now I am starting the lesson from section 9.2, okay, or you can say section 10.2 from the new book of batch 2021. Fine. When it comes to semiconductors, we have two types of semiconductors, that is intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, let us see in detail what they are and how they are useful to us. Okay, and what really do they mean, the name itself. Okay, but before I start my today's video session, I request you all to please like, subscribe and share my channel Pratik Singh Classes. Hit the bell icon for all the videos so that whenever I will upload a new video, you will get its instant notification. First thing. Second thing is that whatever doubt you have after going through my videos, okay, you can type the doubt for all the videos in the comment section of the video and I will try to answer all of them one by one. Okay, so let us start our today's tutorial video, that is about types of semiconductors. Starting from there, intrinsic semiconductors. A semiconductor is in its pure form without any impurity is called intrinsic semiconductor. That means whenever we take any silicon family member like silicon, germanium, okay, when those materials are pure in its form, nothing is added there, okay, then those types of materials are called as intrinsic semiconductors. Here impurity means any one minute, other atom in the crystal lattice. Okay, so whatever lattice we will have, okay, for semiconductors, if nothing is added in the crystal lattice, it is called as intrinsic semiconductors. The silicon lattice is shown in figure 9.3 here, as you can see here. Okay, in this figure we have a silicon lattice, as you can see how silicons are arranged like carbon, okay, which is making 4 bonds to nearby another silicon atoms. Okay, each silicon atom has 4 electrons in the outermost orbit and is covalently bonded with the neighboring atom to form the lattice as is given here. Like carbon atom, silicon has made here covalent bond with each other, okay, and with other 4 silicon atoms. Okay, in carbon family, as we drop down the group, okay, we see there the catenation property decreases. Okay, the catenation property is called as the property by which any element forms bond with the same type of element, carbon like that. Okay, here also silicon, germanium and so on. The band diagram for this case is shown in figure 9.4a. okay, as you can see here, silicon, okay, the 2 silicon atoms are sharing 2 electrons from each other and they are making a covalent bond. Okay, so here this is in the form of sigma bond, sigma covalent bond, not a pi bond. Okay, a small increase in temperature is sufficient enough to break some of the covalent bonds and release the electrons free from the lattice as shown in figure 9.3b. So here why this small temperature is needed, okay, because we have seen in our previous video, let me show you once again, that when we increase the temperature of semiconductors, okay, their conductivity increases, okay, because the bonds break and we get free electrons there. Okay, let me show you once again. We can say that electrical conduction increases with increase in temperature. In other words, resistance decreases with increase in temperature because the bond breaks and we get free electrons to move. Okay, in this figure also you can see in case of semiconductors here. Coming to our topic. Fine. So as you can see in figure 9.3b, okay, or in your book in figure 10.3b, okay, as the temperature increases, one of the electron has come out, the bond has broken and one of the electron has come out, as you can see here. So the electron came out is called as free electron, you can see, and the place from where it has come, that place will become vacant, so it is called as hole. Okay, and as you can see here that a broken covalent bond. Okay, as a result, some states in the valence band become empty and same number of states in the conduction band will be occupied as shown in figure 9.4b. Okay, so let us go in figure 9.4b. As you can see here, some of the electrons, so this is the energy level of a semiconductor. Okay, when energy is given to the atom, okay, some of the electrons from the valence energy band will go to the conduction band, as you can see in this figure 9.4b. okay, and these these electrons will be thermally generated electrons in the conduction band and they are free to move the place from where they have come. As you can see these black white holes, okay, these are the vacancy or the hole created due to the release of electron. Means when the electron has come from this valence band to conduction band, okay, it will leave some space behind. Okay, all right. The vacancies produced in the valence band are called as holes. Okay, as the holes are deficiency of electrons, they are treated to possess positive charges. Okay, so as you can see here, the electrons have come out from this position, so this position you can say that a positive charge has come, net positive charge has come there. Okay, hence electrons and holes are the two charge carriers in semiconductors. So we can say that whenever current passes through any conductor, it may pass because of free electrons or because of positive charges also. So here we have two medium of propagation for current. Okay, one is the conduction band electrons and one is the hole which is in the valence band. In intrinsic semiconductors, the number of electrons in the conduction band is equal to the number of holes in the valence band. Okay, as in this figure you can see that totally 4 electrons are there in the conduction band and 4 holes are here in the valence band, as you can see here on the movement of my cursor. The conduction is due to the electrons in the conduction band and holes in the valence band. Okay, so here as you can see here, the conduction will happen or the current will flow because of the electrons available in the conduction band as well as because of the hole also available in the valence band. These currents are represented as IE and IH respectively. IE means current because of free electrons and IH means flow of current because of holes. Okay, so how properly we can define hole? As given here, when an electron is excited means when its kinetic energy increases, covalent bond is broken. Now octet rule will not be satisfied, and you know from chemistry very well that whenever one covalent bond will be broken, okay, 2 electrons get away from each other or 2 electrons are released. Thus each excited electron leaves a vacancy to complete bonding. Means once the excited electron will come out from the bonding, it will create a vacancy in the bonding at that place, and this deficiency of electron is called as hole. Hole doesn't mean that there is a hole like our things which we see around, the holes which we see around. Okay, it is just like a place where electron has come out, or it is a place where electron can be inserted. Okay, now the total current I is always the sum of the electron current and the hole current, that is I is equal to IE plus IH. An intrinsic semiconductor behaves like an insulator at 0 Kelvin. Okay, 0 Kelvin, you know, it is a very less temperature, because 0 degree Celsius is equal to 273 Kelvin. Okay, and here it is given as 0 Kelvin. So at 0 Kelvin, every semiconductor behaves like a perfect insulator. The increase in temperature increases the number of charge carriers, or means electrons, that was means when we increase the temperature above 0 Kelvin, okay, the electrons will jump from valence band to conduction band, and we will have two means of the flow of current, that is one because of the electrons available in conduction band and one because of the holes available in the valence band. The schematic diagram of the intrinsic semiconductor in band diagram is on figure 9.4b. okay, fine, let us see what is given. This is figure 9.5. okay, so here in figure 9.5b it is given here, okay, as we have seen just now. The intrinsic carrier concentration is the number electron in the conduction band or the number of holes or in the valence band in an intrinsic semiconductor. Once again, the intrinsic carrier concentration is the number of electrons which is available in the conduction band or number of holes available in the valence band. Now coming to extrinsic semiconductors. If we have any doubt related to what is intrinsic semiconductor or whatever the phenomenon we have just studied now, okay, you can comment in the comment section below of this video. Fine. Now coming to extrinsic semiconductors, section 9.2.2 from old book and section 10.2.2 from the new book of year 2021. The carrier concentration in an intrinsic semiconductor is not sufficient enough to develop efficient electronic devices. Means even though in intrinsic semiconductors, okay, the number of electrons or the holes available is not in sufficient amount that the electronic devices can work properly, okay, or with high efficiency. Okay, so there should be something by which we have to increase the efficiency of semiconductors. Another way of increasing the carrier concentration in an intrinsic semiconductor is by adding impurity atoms. Means if suppose in solid semiconductor, okay, like silicon or germanium, if we make some other atom, we fuse some other atom, then that means that impurity has increased in the pure material, and because of that the conductivity of the semiconductor will increase. The process of adding impurities to the intrinsic semiconductor is called as doping. Okay, the word dope means to insert something inside forcefully, okay, or which is not needed, but here it is needed in huge need. It increases the concentration of charge carriers, okay, in the semiconductor, and in turn the electrical conductivity. Means whenever the doping will be done in semiconductor, okay, the availability of electrons or holes will increase, and because of that the conductivity of the semiconductor will increase. The impurity atom are called dopants, and its order is approximately 100 parts per million. Okay, means in 1 million part of semiconductor we just put one atom of or one part of doping or dopants. All right, now there comes type of extrinsic semiconductors. Let us see what is given here in section 9.2.2.1. N-type semiconductor. The N-type semiconductor is obtained by doping pure germanium or silicon crystal with a dopant from group 5 or pentavalent elements like phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, as shown in figure 9.5a. So as you see here in figure 9.5a, a dopant is added, okay, in this silicon structure, silicon crystal. Okay, that dopant is a pentavalent dopant. Okay, as given here, the names phosphorus, arsenic, or antimony. Okay, whenever any atom is pentavalent, according to Aufbau principle, okay, we know very well that half filled or full filled atoms are highly stable. So if we remove one electron from the outermost orbit of either phosphorus or arsenic or antimony, okay, then the atom will become more stable than the previous one. Okay, so if in that situation one electron will come out freely, and this electron will work as a conducting material or conducting medium. Okay, but in this situation, when we add pentavalent dopant, okay, the number of holes will remain the same, but the number of electrons will increase. Okay, the dopant has 5 valence electrons while the germanium atom has 4 valence electrons. During the process of doping, a few of the germanium atoms are replaced by the group 5 dopants. So as you can see here in this structure, suppose at any one position, okay, of a silicon atom, the dopant atom has taken part and silicon atom has come out from there, okay, with one extra electron of dopant. 4 of the 5 valence electrons of impurity atom are bound with 4 valence electrons of the neighboring replaced germanium atom. Just imagine that this central silicon atom, okay, it is replaced by the dopant. The dopant will have 5 electrons. 4 of them will make covalent bond with another neighboring 4 silicon atoms. Then the one electron will come out because it is more than the octet. The fifth valence electron of the impurity atom will be loosely attached with the nucleus as it has not formed any kind of covalent bond. The energy level of the loosely attached fifth electron from the dopant is found just below the conduction band edge and is called the donor energy level as shown in figure 9.5b. So let us see figure 9.5b once again. Okay, so here we have valence band and then conduction band, okay, and the extra electron. Okay, suppose that arsenic electron, the electron from arsenic has come out, and the energy of that electron is just at the border of conduction band, okay, at Fermi level. Okay, all right, moving forward. At room temperature, these electrons can easily move to the conduction band with the absorption of thermal energy. Okay, what happens here is, we know very well, as the temperature rises, everything around us absorbs energy. Okay, likewise, when that type of extrinsic semiconductor will absorb energy, the electrons kinetic energy will increase, and so they will start moving in the conduction band. It is shown in figure 9.6. Besides, an external electric field also can set free the loosely bound electrons and lead to conduction. Means if suppose we don't increase the temperature, we just put the semiconductor in a very high electric field, then that loosely bound electron will come to the conduction band. As you can see here, okay, thermally generated hole is here, means when the heat energy was provided to semiconductor, the electron has gone from valence band level to conduction band level. Okay, and suppose this E naught is the donor energy level, means this line, as you can see on the movement of the cursor on your screen, this line is the donor energy level or dopant's electrons energy. Okay, when at room temperature it will absorb the energy, it will go to the conduction band. Okay, so you can say here in the case of p type or positive type, p also means positive, positive type means because it gives the electrons. Okay, in that situation the number of free electrons in conduction band will be more than the number of holes in the valence band. Okay, it is important to note that the energy required for an electron to jump from the valence band to conduction band in an intrinsic semiconductor is 0.7 electron volt for germanium and 1.1 electron volt for silicon. while the energy required to set free a donor electron is only 0.01 electron volt for germanium and 0.05 electron volt for silicon. Okay, that means it becomes easier to make semiconductor with doping a good conductor of electric current. The group 5 pentavalent impurity atoms donate electrons to the conduction band and are called donor impurities. Therefore, each impurity atom provides one extra electron to the conduction band in addition to the thermally generated electrons. Okay, so that means here when when heat will be added in this semiconductor, extrinsic semiconductor, okay, one electron or more than one electron depending upon availability will reach to the conduction band, and some of the dopants electron also will go to the conduction band. These thermally generated electrons leave holes in the valence band. Okay, hence the majority carrier of current in a negative type or n-type semiconductor are electrons and the minority carriers are holes. Such a semiconductor doped with a pentavalent impurity is called n-type semiconductor. Okay, because electron is given here, okay, that means the negative charge will increase, so this is called as negative type semiconductor. Keep in mind that a pentavalent impurity makes negative type semiconductor. Okay, now coming to positive type semiconductor or p-type semiconductor. Here a trivalent atom from group 3 elements such as boron, aluminum, gallium and indium is added to the germanium or silicon substrate. The dopant with 3 valence electrons are bound with the neighboring germanium atom as shown in this figure 9.7a, as you can see here. Okay, in case of when dopant of group 3, any of the group 3 element is added or doped in the crystal lattice of a semiconductor, okay, because it has only 3 electron, okay, it will absorb 1 electron from the neighborhood atoms. Okay, once again the dopant with 3 valence electron are bound with the neighboring germanium atom as shown in the figure. As germanium atom has 4 valence electrons, 1 electron position of the dopant of germanium crystal lattice will remain vacant. The missing electron position in the covalent bond is donated as a hole, as you can see here. Okay, this missing position creates a hole. Alright, to make complete covalent bonding with all 4 neighboring atoms, the dopant is in need of 1 more electron. These dopants can accept electrons from the neighboring atoms. Therefore, this impurity called an acceptor impurity. Okay, what happens here is, see, boron has only 3 electrons in the outermost orbit, okay, and to fulfill the octet it needs 8 electrons, so it makes covalent bond with other 4 neighboring silicon atom, okay, but still it has a deficiency of 1 electron. So this 1 electron is fulfilled by another atom of silicon which is nearby to it. Okay, so when another atom's electron will come to this position, there will happen creation of hole to that atom. That means here it will randomly move from one atom to other atom. Okay, here the majority charge carrier will be the hole. Okay, the energy level of hole created by each impurity atom is just above the valence band and is called as acceptor energy level as shown in figure 9.7b. So here, as you can see, the energy level, okay, of the holes is just above the valence band, far below than the conduction band, just opposite to that of n-type semiconductor. In semiconductor, the donor energy level is just near to the conduction energy band, but in case of n-type semiconductor, okay, the energy level of dopants, okay, is very near to the valence band, not away from the conduction band. Okay, for each acceptor atom there will be a hole in the valence band in addition to the thermally generated holes. What happens here is as is given. So when the semiconductor is doped with a trivalent impurity, okay, there one of the electron will be accepted by the impurity, okay, and there the gap will be generated. So there will be the deficiency of electron already, and when those types of semiconductors are thermally agitated, some of the electron will again move to the conduction band, leaving more number of holes behind. That means in n-type semiconductor, I'm sorry, let me check once again. So in p-type semiconductor, the electrons are accepted and the majority charge carriers here will be the hole, because the number of holes will be more than that of electrons. For each acceptor atom there will be a hole in the valence band in addition to the thermally generated holes. In such extrinsic semiconductors, holes are the majority charge carriers and thermally generated electrons are minority carriers, as shown in the figure 9.8. So let us see figure 9.8. This is 9.9, this is 9.8. As you can see here, the number of holes is more than that of free electrons. The semiconductor thus formed is called a p-type semiconductor or positive type semiconductor. Okay, now this is all about p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor, and also all about intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, intrinsic semiconductor means semiconductors which is pure, okay, and extrinsic means some semiconductors are doped with either pentavalent or trivalent impurities. Okay, the next topic is, let me check, p-n junction formation. Okay, that is section 9.3, okay, 9.3.1, or you can also say it is section 10.3.1 as it is given in your book. So for that I will make a new video, because this video is going to be more than 20 minutes. Okay, all right. So I hope you have enjoyed today's class. Okay, and if you have any question related to this video or any of the previous video or any of the classes, you can comment in the comment section of this video, and all the questions asked will be answered. Okay, till next video, take care of yourself.